New York, a city where dreams are born and die every day. Millions of people walk hurriedly, trapped in their routines, indifferent to those who have been left behind. But in the midst of this crowd, two men were about to cross paths in a way no one could have imagined. On one side, Jamal Carter, a 22-year-old African-American young man, a hard worker, tirelessly making food deliveries to pay his bills and support his sick mother. He didn't have much, but he had a huge heart. On the other side, Walter Donovan, a 55-year-old white man, homeless, forgotten by society. But he wasn't always like this. There was a time when he had it all: a respected position, a home, a family, until one mistake cost him everything. The two had nothing in common until a simple act of generosity changed their lives forever. It was a cold January morning. The sky was gray, and the biting wind made pedestrians tighten their coats around their bodies. Jamal walked through the busy streets with a thermal backpack on his back, ready for another long day of work. His phone buzzed constantly with new delivery requests, and each trip meant money to pay the rent. But before starting, he always did the same thing. He stopped at the corner of 7th Avenue and 34th Street, where a man with a disheveled beard, covered by a thin blanket, silently extended his hand. Jamal bent down, took some coins from his pocket, and placed them in Walter's palm. "Here, man. This should help you buy a hot coffee." Walter looked at the coins, then at Jamal. Most people passed by without even noticing his existence. But that young man always stopped. "Thank you, kid," Walter murmured, his voice hoarse from years without hope. Jamal smiled and went on his way. He had no idea what he had just started. Walter wasn't just any homeless man. He hadn't lost everything because of drugs or laziness, as many assumed without knowing him. He had once been a successful accountant, owner of an investment firm. His life was stable, his family happy. But one day, a risky investment went wrong. He trusted the wrong people, lost millions of the company's money. The scandal destroyed his reputation. His name ended up in the newspapers. He tried to rebuild, but his wife left him. His friends disappeared. At first he fought. He tried to find a new job, but no one would hire a disgraced accountant, tainted by a financial mistake. Months later, he was evicted from his apartment. With no money, no contacts, no options, he ended up on the streets. At first, he tried asking for jobs at coffee shops, supermarkets. But over time, he gave up. The street sucks you and makes you forget who you were. Now, there he was, just another invisible face to the world. Until a young delivery man started stopping to talk to him. The days passed, and Jamal always stopped to leave a few coins or a sandwich. But one day he did something different. "How did you end up here?" Walter looked at him suspiciously. No one ever asked for his story. Everyone just assumed. But that day, for the first time in years, he told his truth. He talked about the mistake that destroyed his life, about society's relentless judgment, about how he gave up trying. Jamal listened without interrupting. When Walter finished, he expected to hear "that's sad" or "I'm sorry." But instead, Jamal smiled. "Do you still remember everything about accounting?" Walter frowned. "Of course I do. Just because I'm on the street doesn't mean my brain died." Jamal laughed. "Then I think it's time for you to use that knowledge again." Walter just laughed, incredulous. But Jamal was serious. The next day he returned, but this time he brought something different, a book. "Read this. It'll do you good." Walter looked at the cover. The Principles of Wealth. A homeless man reading a book about money. That's ironic. "Just read," Jamal insisted. Walter laughed and shook his head. But that night, with nothing else to do, he opened the book. And something inside him awakened. The days passed. Walter didn't just read the book, he devoured it. He remembered concepts, financial strategies. The fire he thought had been extinguished began to burn again. Jamal noticed the change. Walter started organizing the little money he earned. He talked about investments with other homeless people. That's when Jamal had an idea. One day, he took out his phone and started recording. This is Walter. He was once a successful accountant, but life knocked him down. Now he's trying to get back on his feet. Can someone give him a chance? He posted it on TikTok and YouTube Shorts. The video exploded. Thousands of views. Emotional comments. Businessmen offering to help. Then, one of them sent a message. His name was Richard Henshaw, owner of a financial consulting firm. Bring this man in for an interview. If he's as good as they say, I have a place for him. Walter couldn't believe it. A real chance. In the office, he sat across from Richard. Convince me you deserve this opportunity. Walter took a deep breath and spoke like never before. He explained financial strategies, analyzed numbers quickly. When he finished, Richard smiled. You don't belong on the street. Welcome to the team. 6 months later, Walter had an apartment. A year later, he opened his own consulting firm. But he never forgot who helped him first. He showed up at Jamal's workplace with an envelope. Take this. Inside, a check for $50,000. Jamal was speechless. Now I want to change your life like you changed mine. Together, they created an organization to help the homeless. It all started with coins and turned into a miracle. Jamal and Walter's story is more than just a tale of two men. It's a powerful reminder that every single one of us has the ability to change lives, often in ways we may never fully understand. It all started with a few coins, a moment of connection, and the courage to believe in someone else's potential. But what makes this story so extraordinary isn't just the act of kindness. It's the ripple effect it created. Think about it. Jamal didn't just give Walter coins. He gave him hope. And that hope sparked a transformation that not only changed Walter's life, but also inspired countless others. From the viral video that touched millions to the creation of an organization that now helps hundreds of homeless people, this story proves that no act of kindness is ever too small. But here's the thing. This story isn't just about Jamal and Walter. It's about you. Yes, you. Because every single one of us has the power to make a difference. Whether it's a smile, a kind word, or a simple gesture, you can be the spark that changes someone's life. Imagine this. What if you took a moment today to reach out to someone in need? What if you offered a helping hand, a listening ear, or even just a few coins? You might think it's insignificant, but to that person it could mean the world. It could be the moment that turns their life around, just like it did for Walter. And the best part? You don't need to have a lot to give a lot. Jamal didn't have much. He was just a hard-working delivery guy trying to make ends meet. But he had a heart full of compassion, and that made all the difference. So I want to ask you, what will your ripple effect be? Who will you inspire today? It doesn't have to be grand or dramatic. Sometimes, the smallest gestures have the biggest impact. If this story touched your heart, if it made you believe in the power of kindness, then don't let it end here. Subscribe to this channel and join us as we share more incredible stories of hope, resilience, and transformation. Because together, we can create a world where no one is invisible and everyone has a chance to rise. When you hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell, you're not just supporting this channel, you are becoming part of a community that believes in the power of human connection. You're saying, I want to be part of the change. And trust me, that change starts with you. But it doesn't stop there. If this video inspired you, share it with someone who needs a little hope today. Tag a friend, post it on your social media, or send it to someone who's going through a tough time. Let's spread these stories far and wide, because the more people who hear them, the more lives we can touch. And finally, I want to hear from you. In the comments below, tell me, what's one small act of kindness you've done or received that made a big difference? Let's create a space where we can inspire each other with our own stories of hope and compassion. Remember, the world changes one gesture at a time. Be the change. Be the light. And never underestimate the power of a single act of kindness. Thank you for watching, for believing, and for being part of this journey. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share this video. Together, we can create a ripple effect that changes the world. See you in the next video.